Hi, everybody. It's Casey, and I'm here with a technology review podcast that I bet you did not ever expect me, of all people, to want to ever produce. Well, that's what people are into these days, and I don't really even know what to call it. I'm not really that familiar or desirable of most technology, and people these days don't like labels, and so neither do I. I don't know what to call this podcast, but I'm specifically and deliberately not giving it a label of any sort, and maybe it'll find more success. Anyway, but this is one at bat, so let's make it a good one. And pitch. I'm here with a review of the best phone I've ever had, the Moto G. And it really is the best phone I've had. It's reliable, it's dependable. I put this phone through hell. And I'm sure it's got scratches on it. In fact, I bent it. Literally, I don't know how, but I bent it. And still, and after I bent it, it still worked. It's literally got a curve to it, but it works reliably so. And it has a crack across the screen now, but not anything that can't be fixed. But it's still a beautiful display on it, and it's bright. It's very, very bright. I love the lighting on it. The colors are vivid and wonderful, more than other phones I've had. The animations on it are amusing and delightful. It is an entertaining phone. It's running Android. It doesn't really lag. In fact, I lag more than the phone does. I gotta say. But I have other phones to compare it to, of course. But I don't really want to compare it. It really is in its own category. The other two phones I would put in their own categories too, just to give you a juxtaposition of where we are here. Would be my first phone, which was like a Motorola non-flip phone that had T9 because everybody had T9, and that's what you were stuck with, kind of like the Model T Ford. I hope you like the color that it is because that's the only color it comes in. Yeah, there's no color on your screen. You get green, black, and that's it. It's all digital. So there's that phone and my Samsung Galaxy S2, which I had the longest. The first one I like to call my AM phone, like an AM radio, because it's sort of like it's the first phone I had. It was like I was sweet 16 basically, maybe 17. And phones were basically for adults, as you do at that time in the early 2000s. But what do you do when you're a kid in the early 2000s and you can't go to bars and you haven't done drugs yet? You go to the roller skating rink and you hang out with your friends, and every one of you who were boss had a cell phone. And so every one of you who were boss and had cell phones would sit there and compare in a pissing contest, the likes of which hath not been seen since the last Step Up movie. Who had the coolest set of default ringtones to the phone, because you couldn't download any. But there was a fun option for creating them, but you had to know music in order to do it. And not many people could do that. I very rudimentarily did. But regardless, I remember that the coolest one amongst my little circle of like quasi-alternative emo kids was the Facada, which is actually a piece of classical music that they sort of like brought into the world of technology, or maybe brought technology to the world of classical music. But they exposed us all to classical music inadvertently with Facada and Fugue by Handel, which is actually one of my favorites. It's very quick, syncopative, and it's unexpected. It's a treat. But the other bit of classical music I think they had on there was Pachelbel's Canon in D, which was always, well, I mean, it's always beautiful. But anyway, so that was that particular phone. The second phone was my longest phone. Now, I had some ups and downs with that phone. I put that phone through world traveling, everything. Like, it was a great phone. My Samsung Galaxy S2. I like to call it my Gemini phone. And Galaxy, like Starships by Nicki Minaj. And so that phone and we had some ups and we had some downs. And when I broke that phone, actually, I didn't break the phone. But when the phone did break, I cried so hard. That was my favorite phone, and the longest phone I've had. But this phone here, undeniably the best. And so, this phone in particular I've put it through hell inadvertently, but it's got some scratches on it, as I said, but I don't notice them. It's a great phone. And so this review is, well, I'm going to suggest this. The only thing that would make it better. I think that would, much like the Pokemon, Talonflame, I think that different colors might be nice. I prefer red, like the Talonflame. And I don't really want to put this phone face down, though I do enjoy that. But I'll give it a thumbs up if I could put Ruby on Rails on it, because that would be the only way to improve the phone. Ruby on Rails, of course, is a great operating system. And I think that as a person who wears a lot of red myself, it's a very wearable OS. And this has been my one and only phone review. Be sure to subscribe. Or just follow. I know the way. I love this phone. It's the one for me.